Hi everyone. During this video, there will be actually an interactive magic trick performed by my nephew and you, actually. So do stay tuned. It's pretty cool. Continuing the Matchbook collection tour, the Roxy Theater here on Sunset. It is its 50th anniversary this year. The Roxy, where my favorite thing about it is that the Rocky Horror Show premiered. And also this right here is the door for On the Rocks. This is the private club where John Belushi partied on the last night of his life. And this is also where Sean Penn's bachelor party was. And this is also, I know they did the big Rocky Horror anniversary there, because Lou Adler, who owns it, actually co-produced the Rocky Horror Picture Show and the Rocky Horror Show when it came to America. So that's fun. The Roxy, love the Roxy, 50th anniversary here. And oh, I also published a picture in my book of Tim Curry standing just over here. I'll show you, Troy. Standing right over there by those pipes. There's a picture in my book I'll show you of Tim Curry standing right there. Now, we just had dinner with some friends at the Rainbow Bar and Grill, which I love because it's formerly the Villanova restaurant. And imagine my surprise when at the door were matches. I think this is the last place in the world that still has matchbooks. And here they are, the Rainbow Bar and Grill, formerly the Villanova restaurant. This is still looks very much the same as it did back when it first opened in the 40s. Vincent Minnelli proposed to Judy Garland. Marilyn Monroe met Joe DiMaggio here on a blind date for the first time. And it's still open. It's a rock and roll hangout. I mean, rockers, like metal band sort of stuff mostly. But it's got a lot of history like that anyway. And it was quite a surprise to be leaving that place and get matches. So go to the Rainbow Bar and Grill. The food's good, the people are terrific, and they have matchbooks. If you want to join Miss Pat Collins' fan club, you could fill out this form, well you could, and send it to 9013 Sunset Strip, a bar called The Session. The Session, which was a go-go booby bar, also at that location. Topless Cocktails, Hollywood's happy hunting ground, where you could see Miss Pat Collins, the Hypnotist. And I had just learned about the Hypnotist very recently. She is fabulous.
Hey, Pat!
Oh, hi, Mary Jane. How are you?
Yeah, fine. I'd like you to meet a friend of mine. This is Lucy Carmichael. This is Miss Pat, the famous hypnotist.
Oh, Miss Pat. Oh, the hypnotist.
Oh, I am so glad to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
But I'll tell you what, I'm working at the Royal Club, and you can come participate in my act. How's that?
Let's see how creative these people are. When I count to three, all of you on stage can open your eyes and stand up. You think you're washing machines. 1, 2, and 3, all of you up. You're a washing machine. You're a heck of a washing machine. You're a great washing machine. Look how old-fashioned Mr. Mooney is. One of those, up and down things. She's Wildwood, an agitator. This must be an Irish washing machine. I don't know. You're getting clogged up.
She is fabulous. And her theater, was the Session nightclub, is directly behind me now, across the street. You can see on the right where it says Built, there's the famous Gil Turner's liquor store that Halle Berry hit with her car, and which still has the marks in the front of it from where Halle Berry hit her car. And then that was the Pat Collins, Theater, which was also the Session topless bar. And you can see this is one of the original Sunset Strip buildings. This whole block is almost original still from the day. Middle of LA. And so Miss Pat Collins, the Pat Collins Theater was just over there, the Hypnotist, the most stylish hypnotist I've ever seen in my life. You'll see here a couple of clips I'm going to show you in just a second from various television shows. But here is also a drinking glass from the Hypnotist with those crazy eyes that are unmistakable. Miss Pat Collins. Halle Berry was traveling in this direction, coming from here up to her street, which is up there. Now, she was coming home from a friend's house where all she had was a Diet Coke, she swears. And she was crossing this intersection. She hit a car in the intersection. Then she hit Gil Turner's liquor store in the intersection. So by the time she turned herself in, you know, there's no way they could do a breathalyzer. This is a famous liquor store. So many people shop in this liquor store. The alley hit. There's one mark. And can't really say the other one. And the Hypnotist. There are pictures of her old theater. The front, the very, very front's changed a bit. And it says on the building the address is 9105, but it's here. It's here for sure. And it says 9103 here now. So anyway, this path. That's a cool building, but there's an even cooler one coming up. Hollywood Magic Castle. Here's a matchbook for the legendary Magic Castle in Hollywood. A private club, it's exclusive to magicians and their guests. You have to be invited in. And I can't tell you much about it, but I can show it to you. They're getting decorations ready for Halloween. This used to be a private home, but it's been the home of the magicians for decades. And I'm gonna bring on a special guest who is going to tell you about the Magic Castle. His name is Nick Paul. He's my nephew. He's a professional magician. He's been on Penn and Teller's magic show, and I want to welcome Nick Paul to my matchbook video.
Hey everybody, my name is Nick Paul. I'm a magician, comedian. I perform at the Magic Castle, and Uncle Scott asked me to give you a little bit of history and info about the world-famous Magic Castle. At the end of this, my dog Rascal is going to perform an interactive magic trick, so stick around. So today we're delving into the mystique of the Magic Castle, an extraordinary haven for magicians and magic enthusiasts. I've been a member and performing there since 2016. Every time I'm there, it feels like I'm traveling back in time. It's a really cool place. Nestled in the heart of Hollywood, California, it proudly holds the title of the most unusual private club in the world. Over the years, it has become known as the Mecca for magicians worldwide, boasting a membership of approximately 5,000 active magicians and non-magician enthusiasts. The Magic Castle is not your typical clubhouse. It's a performance venue, it's an exquisite restaurant, and a private club all rolled into one. However, here's the catch. Only Magic Castle members and their guests have the privilege of entering. This exclusive atmosphere is a nod to the classic days of nightclubs, complete with a strict dress code. Don't think you can walk in there with sneakers and jeans. I've seen many A-list celebrities turned away by security very politely saying, "Sorry, there's a dress code." The castle and the entrance is shrouded in mystery. You must utter a secret phrase to a mystical owl sculpture unveiling the passage to an enchanting world within. Inside, the Magic Castle comes alive with nightly magic performances spread across multiple theater spaces. We've got the close-up gallery, the parlor of prestidigitation, and the grand stage with the Palace of Mystery. On weekends, that extends to the Peller Theater, Hat and Hair Pub, and W.C. Fields Bar, all located in various downstairs spaces around the Magic Castle. And in the music room, the ghostly Irma takes musical requests, tickling the ivories with an invisible touch. Don't forget to tip. Ghosts like money too. The castle is believed to be haunted by none other than the great Harry Houdini himself, but I've spent many late evenings there in the dark, and I've had no such luck, but you never know. Evening performances are exclusive to those 21 and above. However, the castle hosts a magical all-ages brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. Now let's journey back in time. The Magic Castle, originally a chateau-esque residence, emerged in 1909. Thanks to the vision of real estate investor, lawyer, banker, newspaper editor, and philanthropist Roland B. Lane. Architects Lyman Farewell and Oliver Dennis crafted this mystical mansion as a near replica of the 1897 Kimberly Crest House and Gardens in Redlands, California. It remained in the Lane family until 1955. In 1961, Milt Larsen was working on Bob Barker's Truth or Consequences TV show. He gazed at a rundown mansion on Franklin Avenue, envisioning a clubhouse for magicians. With his love of woodworking, Milt, along with his partner Don Gottschall, began transforming the mansion into what we now know as the Magic Castle. Milt's dream of a magician's clubhouse had taken shape, but there was no club. He convinced his brother, Bill Jr., to resurrect the Academy of Magical Arts, which was originally created by their father, who was also a magician. This mutual benefit nonprofit corporation is dedicated to nurturing and advancing the art of magic. The Academy was incorporated in 1961, and on January 2, 1963, the Magic Castle opened its doors. Over the years, the original structure has expanded to accommodate several theaters, bars, a library, and various meeting spaces, cementing its status as a Los Angeles historical cultural monument in 1989. Throughout its history, the Magic Castle has witnessed performances by legends like Orson Welles, Johnny Carson, Steve Martin, and Neil Patrick Harris, who even served as president for several years. On Halloween night in 2011, the castle faced a formidable foe, fire. The attic bore the brunt of the blaze, necessitating an extensive interior refurbishing. Nonetheless, the Magic Castle emerged from the ashes, reopening its doors in February 2012, ready to enchant once more. On February 24, 2017, a beloved magician's magician named Daryl, battling depression, hanged himself inside one of the castle's mid-sized theaters. I perform in this room regularly, and always pay my respects to Daryl every time I pass through that curtain. Flash forward to April 2022, when the Magic Castle found a new guardian in Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox Entertainment Company and an AMA member, also a magic enthusiast himself. Under his ownership, the Magic Castle remains a magical performance venue and the cherished clubhouse of the Academy of Magical Arts. And finally, just a few months ago, we lost Milt Larsen, co-founder of the Magic Castle and a prolific figure in the world of magic and entertainment. He was 92. Right up until he passed, you could see him always hanging out at the castle. It was sort of like seeing Walt Disney hanging out at Disneyland. Larsen's career included producing TV specials and collaborating with Richard Sherman on songs for Disney classics. He was the president of the club's parent company until his passing, and he was recognized as one of the most influential individuals in the history of magic by Magic Magazine. So that's a little bit about the world-famous Magic Castle, and as promised, my dog Rascal is now going to show you a magic trick. This is my adorable dog Rascal. Yes, this is him on his way to Starbucks. He's excited to get a puppuccino. Rascal has been practicing his mind reading skills, and we're going to put that to the test right now. Do me a favor, put your finger on any one of those rascals. Leave it there. Great. Now I want you to move to the nearest red rascal. Make sure it's the closest. Red rascal. Now I want you to move to the nearest purple rascal. Make sure it's the closest. Purple rascal. Great. And finally, move to the nearest yellow rascal. Leave your finger there. Even though he's currently sleeping on my couch right now, he's going to try to read all of your minds. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yay! I hope it worked for you. If it didn't work for you, it's 'cause he's a dog. Thanks for listening. My name is Nick Paul. Now back to Uncle Scott.
Thanks, Penny. That was really swell.
Now we're at Rodeo Drive, the former location of the Daisy, a nightclub.
Opening in the early 60s, the Daisy operated as a restaurant during the day and as Beverly Hills' first members-only discotheque at night. It was normal to see Sonny and Cher, Paul Newman, Natalie Wood, Sammy Davis Jr., Tony Curtis, Jay Sebring, and Sharon Tate. The Daisy was also one of the first night spots that Frank Sinatra was publicly seen with future wife Mia Farrow. It's also where a freshly turned 18-year-old Nicole Brown worked as a waitress when she first met football star O.J. Simpson.
In Los Angeles. And thank you, Patrick, for the matchbook. It was right over there. Was, as usual. It's kind of busy. You don't really feel like you're in the woods, but kinda, we are, kinda, because we're at the Northwoods Inn. Clearman's Northwoods Inn. And here's the Northwoods Inn. Dinners, cocktails, banquet rooms. See that snow-covered cabin? Well, there it is. I love this place. No, thank you. Just gonna take a quick one. Yeah. Throw the peanut shells on the floor. And the stuffed bear, the bison, the sawdust on the floor, and peanut shells. This is such a cool place. Hey everybody, it's a lovely cool day here in Los Angeles. I'm here for just a quick overnight visit, and while I'm here I decided to check on one of my favorite stories that I never got a chance to dive into, and that's what I'm going to do today. You know, I collect matchbooks, and I show matchbooks from places that are gone, long gone. This one is called Monkey Island. And this was a real sort of attraction in the late 1930s around Los Angeles. It was located at 3300 Cahuenga Boulevard, which is where we are right now, in this park. Now, Monkey Island is long gone. It didn't last for very long, but it was a huge amount of monkeys on display for our entertainment, located on this lot. It was an amusement park for humans that featured monkeys. It's 2 minutes from the Hollywood Bowl, which is just a couple of minutes over that way, in that direction. At 3300 Cahuenga Boulevard. There is still a park here, and we are in it right now. 3 magnificent acres of continuous entertainment, amusement. The chimpanzees show every 1/2 hour at Monkey Island. The place, I believe, opened in 1938 when the 101 blasted through, which is that freeway, the other side of the wall. Monkey Island is forever gone. Now, you know, research is based on other people's research, and there was a woman who wrote an article a while back called Lindsay William Ross about LA history in Monkey Island, and she really summed it up pretty incredibly. And shamefully, or shamelessly, I'm going to borrow some of her material for this video. So this is the former home of Monkey Island. Fountains, hundreds of monkeys that were brought in illegally to the country through the port of Los Angeles, brought here for our amusement, and it was a spectacle. And it's sort of surprising because they weren't really all that trained. You know, there were hundreds of them, and I'm sure there were many accidents. And there's also the story about there being a lab for experiment also on the property. But yeah, the property occupied 3 acres. It was invented by a guy named Louis Weiss. He brought the monkeys from Los Angeles. He brought 500 to the port of Long Beach in 1938, the largest collection of monkeys ever to arrive in America. The construction of the Monkey Island attraction was steel reinforced concrete oval surrounded by a moat 15 feet wide, filled with 3 feet of clear circulating water. Having the moat meant that monkeys could roam freely without the restriction of cages. The center of the attraction was a 40-foot high plastic mountain that the monkeys could climb and scamper around. See? They had nice lives. The monkeys lived in dormitories that could house up to 200 and were hauled out to frolic for the guests of the park and sent back to sleep on steel shelves covered with straw. Nowhere else in Hollywood. Well, they did say a lot of celebrities would come here, but it was a thing back then, you know? And they say with the war, when people started becoming more conservative with their money, that Monkey Island closed down because people didn't feel comfortable spending money on amusements, and it sort of faded away. No one knows what happened to Monkey Island, really. Some people said across the freeway there were some pieces of concrete that might be part of Monkey Island. Not sure. I don't think any of it exists anymore, and it's still uncertain when it actually closed down. That's very interesting too. There was not like an official "we're done here, bye Monkey Island" thing. But this was it. Fabulous Monkey Island, primates paradise. They loved it here. Hundreds of monkeys loved it here. Thanks for watching today's Matchbook video. I want to especially thank Nick Paul, my nephew. Check out his YouTube channel, Nick Paul, on YouTube, Nick Paul the Magician. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention. Until next time.